Why, hello there. Thanks so much for joining us for episode 30 of the Long Comics Book Club, a bi-weekly podcast about long comics, also known as manga and graphic novels. Happy Lunar New Year. My name is Shane. I'm the older brother, and I am a goat. I'm joined by Spence, the younger brother, who is a...
I am a rooster.
Oh, cock-a-doodle-doo.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
How do we feel about being a rooster?
I've always thought it was kind of lame, honestly. Yeah. There's so much, like obviously we can't all be dragons. But
No,
even
alas.
then, rooster's definitely like the bottom of the, like, even a dog would be cooler, or a monkey. And that's like, those are the two ones to either side of me.
Are those the two prime ones? What are the...
Well, in order it goes monkey, rooster, dog. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm taking a look at some of the attributes. So you're hardworking and observant, which, you know, I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah, we'll take that. And I'm calm and creative. Wow.
There you go.
There you go. Pretty resonant. I'd say not too far off when it comes to describing us. But of course, we are celebrating Year of the Horse. It is Chinese New Year, Year of the Horse, Lunar New Year. We're happy to have you join this goat / ram / sheep.
Yeah,
And
it's the one that just like hasn't agreed on which animal it's supposed to be.
it's pretty funny. But
Yeah.
what we can agree on is that it is a horse spectacular today to celebrate Lunar New Year. We are going to be having a horse-themed episode, which honestly, it's pretty great.
Yep.
So, for a long comic this week,
Insert neighing sound here.
Your what?
Insert the neighing sound of the horse.
Oh, that's fun. You can start adding sound effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe busy listeners will get to enjoy a horse sound here. Oh, God, I don't know, every time we say horse, get old pretty fast.
Make a bunch more work for you.
Yeah, why not? But to celebrate Year of the Horse, we have a horse spectacular today. We are going to start off with our long comic that we read this week to celebrate Lunar New Year, Year of the Horse, which is, of course, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but specifically Part 7, Steel Ball Run, which is our long comic for the book club. We're going to have some meaningful discussion, book club style, with some interesting facts like hey from Spence, and a recommendation if you haven't yet read the book, decide if it's worth picking up. Especially interesting because this is part 7 of a fairly infamous series. So we're going to talk about whether it's actually feasible to just dive straight into part 7 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Because for some background, I am a JoJo fan. I've read a bunch of it, but I've also watched all 6 seasons. And you have first 2 parts you've watched, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So yeah, exactly. We're coming from very different perspectives. So we're going to see whether it is feasible to just dive straight in. We'll hear from my side as the newcomer to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with no background, and the expert side from Spence, who has all of the necessary background information. And we are also then, for the second half of the show, going to be talking about another piece of horse-themed content, Uwa Musume, Cinderella Gray. Because have you ever wondered what it would be like if real historical horse races were run by anime girls? Well, look no further than this bizarre, controversial?
I don't know if it's controversial. Like,
Maybe opinion controversial.
The people yearn for the horse girls. It is one of the big. It is like the biggest runaway success in like any form of in like anime in the last like 5 years.
Missed opportunity for, or I guess Runaway is pretty good.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's not bad. Okay, well, we will report back on whether we think this horse girl story is good enough to podium during our second half of the show. But of course, thanks to Vesperia Manga and Comics for providing today's long comic, by which I mean thank you, Spence, owner and proprietor of Vesperia, online at VesperiaComics.com, and physically located at 1935 West Broadway in Vancouver, British Columbia. It is now after Fan Expo, but we are recording this pre-Fan Expo.
We didn't want to like lie for a bit, try to keep it going.
No,
keep the magic going.
Keep the magic real. No, I think we can be transparent because Spence, we're anticipating to be pretty burned out in the next few days post Fan Expo. So we thought probably for the best to record this before he has what's ultimately going to potentially add up to 36 hours of work in 3 days.
At least. Probably more. I gotta also put stuff up and take stuff down.
Oh yeah. It's going to be a long weekend. So we thought good to record it now when we all have some energy in us.
And also Monday is typically my day off from work. And I'm going to be working it. So I'll be right back to the store come Tuesday.
Right back to it. But thank you for anyone that went and visited Spence at Fan Expo. Yeah. Hopefully, if you went and you had a fun time, you picked up something cool. And if you missed the opportunity, well, we'll see how much stock is left in store. I know that, seriously,
who knows?
Run low post Expo, but worth checking out, especially if you're interested in picking up what we're talking about today. Pick up what we're putting down. And while you're online at VesperiaComics.com, you should also navigate over to our social channels. Drop a follow on Instagram and Blue Sky at Long Comics Book Club, as well as follow our show on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, any or all of the above of your favorite podcast platforms. Also, if you like the show, give us a rating. We're always happy to receive feedback, and that kind of support means the world. And of course, all these links are on our link tree, including our Discord, where you can join our growing book club community. And so getting into the book club to celebrate Lunar New Year, Gumhei Fat Choi, we are talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 7, Steel Ball Run, as selected by Spence. So Spence, I normally ask you why you chose this as our long comic, but...
Yeah, this time you were like, on the spot, give me something about horses. I'm like, well, first you asked for the Musume manga, and I was like, sorry, that hasn't been officially released in English yet. So we were like, we got to find something else about horses. And it's like, well, you know what? Part 7 of JoJo is about to have the first. It's about to have its anime adaptations about to come out. So why not get in beforehand?
Yeah, and talk about something that is very horse central. So, quick plot synopsis for those unfamiliar, not with JoJo as an entirety, but specifically Steel Ball Run. We are in the year is 1890. We are in America with cowboys at the turn of the Industrial Revolution as automobiles start to enter the scene. And we're going to have a horse race from the West Coast to the East Coast.
$50 million on the line.
$50 million on the line. And that's the plot. It's a horse race.
Yeah, it's a horse race. Well, yeah. Yes. Well, in the, you know what? Let's hit you with some spoilers. Because why not?
Not right out of the gate. Holy God. Hey, there's some more horse talk.
Okay, I was just more. Yeah, nice. Just like in the level of JoJo's is because that's the fun part about JoJo. You can hit them with a spoiler, and they'll be like, "I have no context for this, so I don't know if it's even a spoiler." So like it gets revealed that the horse race is actually being put on by the President of the United States in order to gather the body of Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. This is information that is not revealed in part 1. Part 1
not at all.
So the way that the horse race is done is that it's done in stages. And so part 1 of Steel Ball Run is literally the first leg of this cross-country race that's supposedly going to take a couple of months. And so we have a couple of main characters. We have JoJo.
Yep. Johnny
Joestar. Johnny Joestar is our titular JoJo in this series. We also have Giro Zappelli, who's our maybe protagonist, maybe villain, unclear, which I thought was very interesting.
At this point, at least, they kind of give off like shonen rivals kind of thing going on. Like they're not friends, but like they kind of like respect. And by the end of this, they kind of like respect each other, or at the very least, Giorno starts to respect Johnny because Johnny spent the entire time running after. Gyro. Giorno's a completely different Zappelli.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Yeah. You're going to have a hard time of just focusing on volume 1 of what we just read and trying to focus on just this context, but I believe in you. We can do it.
Yeah.
So Johnny is wheelchair bound, but wants to enter this horse race.
Yeah, because he used to be a legendary used to be a legendary jockey.
Exactly. He wants to learn more about what Jiro's doing, because Jiro uses steel balls, but despite also Steel Ball Run not being related to his steel balls that he uses as a weapon.
The spiral of the balls. So we got very different take on spirals compared to Uzumaki.
Yeah, he's definitely for sure I 100% wrote down a little bit of trauma there when I first saw the spirals. So for anyone that wants to understand why it's traumatizing for me, you are welcome to go listen to the Uzumaki episode about spirals and why I can never look at snails the same in particular. We also have Dio Brando,
Diego Brando. Different from Dio Brando.
Who's our English competitor, who's a legendary jockey from England. We also have Steven Steele is put. Man, there's a lot of characters they introduce pretty fast.
Yeah, but I think they do a pretty good job of making
they all sort of stand out as their own though, because you also have Sandman, who's running a horse race on his feet,
which is all doubly interesting. Sandman's the first character we meet, so
that's true. Yeah, which I thought was pretty great. And then we also have Poco Loco.
Yeah. And really for this one, it's the 5 competitors, the ones we really need to pay attention for here.
Yeah.
It's there's Sam Steele, whatever, that they're not really important for this. It's JoJo, Gyro, Diego, Poco Loco, and Sandman.
And Poco Loco is 1 in 5 billion luck, and just the luckiest guy in the world. And so it's this first volume is all about their race and their completion of the first leg. And
So most of the entire volume, or I guess there's the intro. After the intro, 18 minutes is how long the second half of this entire volume. Yeah.
Wow. Wait, how does that work timing wise? How do you know that?
Because they say that at the end. That
that it only took them 18 minutes.
Yeah, the first leg took 18 minutes. So
definitely thought it was going to take longer, but hey, I mean they're flying through. That's for sure. But yeah, we have our 5 primary racers at this point, and they're off the starting line, off they go. And so the first volume is capturing their completion of the first leg, which is won by Giro Zabelli. Yeah. So getting into it, Steel Ball Run. I mean, I think it's a pretty great name. It's certainly, I think that's important when it comes to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
That
they always hit it out of the park. All the subtitles for all of them, they're always cool sounding while not ever actually telling you anything about them, because often they don't even have any relevance to the
this one very much has a lot of relevance.
This one does, but it's Stardust Crusaders. What does that even mean? We refer people refer to the main characters as the Stardust Crusaders, but they're never actually called that in the story.
Interesting. Yeah, so this is another one of the JoJo plot lines. So jumping straight into part 7. I gotta say, coming into it without having done 1 through 6, if anyone's wondering at this point, you can absolutely do that. Yes. I didn't need to have any kind of background knowledge. I know that Diego Brando, I remember Dio. I know he's a naughty boy.
Yes.
That doesn't really matter for this one. You don't need to know that.
Yeah. And this one in particular. So parts 1 through 6 kind of built off each other. Whereas this one, we won't go into it, but basically part 6 resets the universe. And so this is what happened in that after those changes have been made. Let's go back to the past and let's see what the universe reset was.
Yeah. So I mean, right at the top, for anyone that's curious, I would absolutely say if you are interested, you are welcome to dive into part 7 completely fresh without any background. If anything, it almost sounds like it gives a really interesting perspective because you don't have any biases or knowledge about these namesakes.
Yes, it's
you can assume that Johnny is going to be a main character because he's JoJo, which is the
and to be fair, he starts narrating the story at one point, so you would think that, but it's you probably didn't realize Avdol is actually a other character from JoJo.
I don't know who that was.
The guy on the camel. The guy on the camel. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a character from part 3 of JoJo. So it's Avdol. Oh wow, he didn't last very long.
He's out right away. Interesting. Yeah, no, I had no idea. So I mean, that's the main thing. Do you think in this first volume is there a clear lead, or is it really meant to split your the main lead character is meant to be split across this group, that it's almost like an ensemble cast.
I think it's pretty ensemble, because that's actually like a thing that people often talk about, also in reference to the older ones, where like after part 1 and 2, the main character, like it's still called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but the main character just isn't the JoJo often anymore. Like parts 3, 4, and 5 all have like strong arguments can be made that the main character isn't the JoJo.
There you go. But we're focusing on 7.
Yeah, I know. But like,
locked in.
I know. But we're going to bring up the context of other JoJo.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is an interesting thing that I wasn't aware of. That even though it's called JoJo from Johnny Joestar, that Johnny Joestar.
Johnny.
Yeah, it is really an ensemble. I also don't think in this first one there's really a clear villain. I think you have a lot of characters who are like mysterious with Zeppelion, with Dio, and even Steven Steele to a degree, but none of them are clearly villains at this point.
Honestly, you're very right. Like now that you mentioned that, it's like I was like, no, wait, what are you talking about? Dio's clearly a villain, but it's like, oh right. Outside of the context of knowing who Dio is and just assuming,
just another racer, almost very similar to the guy riding a camel. Where you just sort of get obviously Dio makes it way further and has more of a role in it, but no, he doesn't come across immediately as a villain. So. Which is pretty interesting. I mean, I think that these are a lot of it I know is JoJo's reputation, and so it's easy to call back to, but coming into it, these are all great that they're very clearly different characters. There is no element of confusing these people.
Good God, no.
They stand very individual. Well, they're super different from one another, both visually as well as their attitudes, and all of it is very, very varying.
Yeah, and like you can't. Yeah, like and then they set up like what they're doing, motivations, all that, just like right from the get-go. We're always like, we know these people. It's straightforward, but fits really well, and just race. Let's race.
It's pretty interesting that it isn't. I mean, you gave some spoilers, but the first one is really simple to realize. It is literally you're racing across for an unbelievable amount of money, and that's your storyline. And I really like how simple that is. I will admit, I was a little bit worried when I heard that Steven Steele had a 14-year-old wife, so I did look into what was going on.
Apparently, yes, which is really like I actually haven't looked up what it is, but I've heard that he's like the go-to example of like, don't worry, like I know it sounds bad, but don't worry.
Yeah, I can confirm. So for anyone that might run across them and say, how dare they recommend those Supergirls, it's to protect her from the mob. So he does declare that he has no intention of any kind of intimacy or anything of that sort. It is literally just by marrying her, he's trying to protect her and save her because he owes her for coming up with the idea of Steel Ball Run. So it is still weird, but there's a reason behind it, and that it's not intended to be creepy to that nth degree. Still weird, but not predatory, which is a relief.
Yeah.
But speaking of the characters, something that I did not expect is that this is probably the best portrayal of a diverse cast that we've had in manga, or even graphic novels so far.
Yeah.
Sandman is a Native American, and Loco Loco is African American. And they're not like caricatures of the races. They're both.
Yeah. You could be mistaken for thinking like Poco Loco does look pretty stereotypical.
What's crazy to me is I saw both the characters and I'm like, wow, this is a pretty racist character portrayals. And then I saw how he draws every character. And I was like, oh, that's literally just his art style.
Yeah.
So it can be very easy on first look to be like, wow, that's way too exaggerated features. And it's racist. But it's like, no, this is literally how he draws everyone. They all have these way over exaggerated features and giant ridiculous facial expressions. That's just like just
Rocky's a legend, and part of that is
we should give a shout out to the creator of JoJo Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run, which is of course
Hirohiko Araki.
Yeah, which is of course Hirohiko Araki. So that's just his style. Which yeah, you were absolutely right. At first, I was like, "This is the best." Like, oh no, that is a crazy way to do your art. But
yeah, dude loves muscles. Dude loves poses. Dude just loves what he loves, and like it's probably
characters you've ever seen.
It might be literally the most like specifically iconic style in all of manga. Like no one on earth comes anywhere close to looking like Araki's does.
Yeah, it really stands alone visually with how it looks. It's also just, speaking about the art, visually, it is a cacophony of noise on the page. I often speak about how I really love visual detail when it comes to this media. I really like the details of Isak and of Witch Hat Atelier. This is extremely detailed, but in a way different kind of way than those. Where those are really like minute realism detail. This is like really weird details that make everything look more visually confusing and a lot going on. When it's like a lot of it's like sweat and muscle and blood and motion.
Yeah.
And
poses, all the poses everyone gets into.
Everyone gets into poses, yeah. The onomatopoeia of the stampeding noise. I don't know if you noticed, but it's actually endless. But they have this like do because it is a horse race.
Yeah, and that's one of the hardest parts about us with manga uses like those onomatopoeia sound effects so often that is never has a good way of getting it. Never has quite a good way of translating it. Like they try, but I always felt that's something we like lose a little bit in translation.
In the English translation, you mean, just that we don't have. Yeah, that's true. But it is I think it looks cooler to like backwards L swipe with a single line and having to write do or do over and over. But,
well, it's like the famous like menacing, always like lines of the word menacing going past that JoJo's so famous for. Same idea.
Oh yeah. Japanese characters just look cooler than English characters, let's be honest. But the art is something else. It is out there, it is loud, it is engaging. And with the anime, do you think that they're gonna do the endlessly horse stampeding sound?
Probably not, because that would be a lot.
Yeah.
To have like hoof, maybe they'll have like quiet hoof beats going. It'd just be like, because it's like this volume would be more than one episode. It would probably be like a 2 or 3 episodes long to get through this volume. So like imagine this like the sound of hoof beats entirely for multiple episodes.
Just endlessly going. Yeah. But something that I think is exciting about the anime is going to be color. Because I know that that's something that's really big in the other animated series as well, that we lose in manga, is the just crazy color choices.
Yes.
It's very vibrant. If you look at old JoJo stuff, it's always very bright and colorful and unexpected as well. I mean, you even pick up from Steel Ball 9 just looking at the cover was that Ellie's lips are green.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's one of the cool things I always do with the anime is like at times they'll just like randomly change the color palette. Because they've done that through all the first 6 parts.
Wow.
Yeah, where like suddenly, this everyone's colors will just be different for this one scene to like show, for emphasis basically.
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting example of something that has merit in both its manga form and its animated form. That reading this, it does come across as something that would benefit from being animated as well. I still think it's super strong as a manga, and it's very exciting. It's pretty thrilling to read as an action story, and I was way more into it than I think I expected. I think it's easy to get very invested into the thrill of a horse race.
Yes.
Especially when it's very straightforward at this point. That
Yeah.
it's very simple. It's very exciting. Something very smart that they do is that they have an announcer because it is a horse race. So something I thought was super clever and that I really appreciated was the use of a announcer during the race. That I think is easy to miss how much value that provides in an action manga, because it means that they can do exposition in a way that feels natural.
Which is perfect, because that's like kind of something JoJo's famous for, is how like unnatural. They'll almost always have a character who's standing on the background explaining every single thing. Like, you've watched do you remember Speedwagon from part 1?
I do not. I don't remember like anything.
Okay, yeah. Speedwagon's like the king of that. Like, Speedwagon's entire purpose is to stand on the sidelines and explain exactly why whatever is happening. Why JoJo is able to breathe underwater is explained by Speedwagon on the sidelines.
It's pretty common, I think, in a lot of shonen action series that you just have someone try to explain everything. But I love the commentator in this. I think what's great is that it also fits the atmosphere. And if anything, what's usually done with exposition is it slows it down, makes it bulkier. But in this, it actually makes it more exciting, because that's just what we're accustomed to when it comes to sports and racing, is having commentators, and they add that element of excitement. So I think it's a really, really clever plot.
Oh yeah. And it's just exciting. It's like you're on like the metaphorical edge of your seat for the entire there's never a single dull moment once the starter pistol goes off.
Yeah, it's just now they have a downtime. Well, at the end of during volume 1, I don't know if there's some slower time now that they have chilling at the church mission for a while.
Well, which is honestly actually kind of a point. I guess this is a good time to bring it up, that this is kind like, so I've read. I'm actually not entirely caught up on the English release, but I've been reading all English releases, and like, this is really the hype. Like, this part's amazing. It doesn't quite hit this excitement again.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because as it goes to like the longer, which I guess this is another, like, building off of that point again. One of the most interesting things about this early part is no one says the word stand throughout the entire volume.
They do not.
They're not. Yes, clearly, like, Poco Loco clearly has a stand.
But that's, again, that was so interesting about that. That's for someone who knows JoJo Bizarre.
Yeah.
It's for someone who doesn't, which is me. He finds this creepy, weird-looking skeleton dude that somehow has influence over his luck.
Yeah.
And it's very cool, because for someone that doesn't really understand it, it seems like he has some sort of, like, deal with the devil going on. He has this creepy demon thing that's giving him extreme luck, and you don't know what kind of exchange he's made and what that will cost him in the long run. So I assume if you know what a stand is, you're like, oh, this guy is only good. As someone that doesn't know, that weird creepy scarecrow thing is for sure an X factor. And certainly drums up some more of the stress. I read, when I looked up Lucy Steele and I saw some of the stuff, and I mean, like you talked about, though, it's actually searching for the body of Jesus Christ. This story goes off the rails.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So, like, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, especially in parts 3 through 6, often are like stand battle after stand battle after stand, like loosely connected stand battles are basically what each part becomes, and those are great. But it's kind of fun to go back to having like just like none of that. And the problem is, like, future this goes back to, like, they start doing stand battles again.
He can't help himself.
Yeah. The problem is because stand battles are just such a great, like, this isn't a slight against stand battles. Stand battles are amazing. Let's have, like, two people with, like, the weirdest power sets possible, like, clash against each other in the weirdest way possible. And those are always super entertaining. But it's nice to have a change of pace.
And so for anyone not knowing what a stand is, would you describe it as their, like, super powered avatar and they fight?
Yeah.
It's like Pokemon. It's like spirit Pokemon.
Punch ghosts is what they're often described as. Okay, You've got, like, a ghost that follows you around and gives you, like, some kind of random superpower, and they get really like in part 3 when they introduce stands, they're the most part like, oh, this one punches really fast, this one has fire powers, and then eventually it's like this one puts a lock on their neck, and the more guilty they feel, the heavier the lock gets, and it's like that level of like random weirdness. Or like this alligator is invisible only but also kills you, and you have to get back to your body or else your ghost gets lost.
Interesting. Okay. Well, so for anyone that's like, what is he talking about? You don't have to worry about that in Volume 1.
No, not at all.
If you want to treat Volume 1 as just the main, that this is it as a bottle story, you kind of can, and it's thrilling enough to wonder about who's going to win this race. Yes. Maybe we don't spoil who wins it, but did you expect who wins it? I didn't. I legitimately didn't know who was going to win.
Yeah, no, not at all. And the nice thing, it just being the first leg means really anyone can win it. Like,
yeah, that's part of it as well. It's not the culmination. It's just, it gives you an advantage later on. But yeah, I had no clue who's going to win. So when we're in the last like hundreds, and again, it does a really great, exciting job of building up tension and action and narration. And
I was pulling for Sandman.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's so cool.
Let's run this race.
Running the horse race, yeah. Again, it's great that you have this Native American character that's not played for laughs. He's just like super fast. And his character design's great. He looks super cool. I think it could have been very easy for them to go the stereotype route, but they did not, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I've got to assume his name's a reference to Metallica, probably called Enter Sandman in Japan.
Probably. Yeah, it sounds like the kind of thing they would do. But yeah,
it's also that's the sad part about reading it versus listening to the anime subs. We don't get to actually hear the like we get. There's no way to like hear what the actual name is. We're just given the like English censored names.
Oh, I didn't realize that's the well, then it'll be exciting to find out when the anime comes out.
Yeah,
what the Japanese translation is.
Yeah, because I know that this part has what's it called, the best one, immoral acts at affordable prices.
They're not in this one. But yeah, it's in part 7, and it's dirty deeds done cheap. The official name for it is immoral acts at affordable prices. Okay, so this
amazing name.
So Yurihiko is into classic rock, apparently.
Yes, and he names everything gets named after classic rock stuff.
Yes.
So
very cool. So this is moving away from the classic rock and the names. I mean, the names are very goofy, and I know that it's rewarding if you have some of the background. I actually know what they're called it's too, because it is family. Yeah, your family when you're here, or whatever that is. But something else I was thinking about as I was reading through it that I thought was important to check in with you. You not famously, but you don't like double panels. You don't like when you have to read all the way across.
Yeah.
That just randomly happens. How do you feel about it in this one? Because it happens decently often.
Yeah, I to be fair, my bigger issue with double panels is when it's not clear when I'm supposed to go, like... I really don't like it when it decides randomly that this page is going to be, like, reading in a weird order. Like, if it's, like, big, massive splash panels, like, great. Those are fine. Like, yeah, if it's like one panel over 2 pages, that's cool. That's very cool. It's like, yeah, when it's not clear what panel layout to follow through.
Which sometimes felt like that was the case with this.
Because I didn't have that problem at all. So
okay, good. You didn't run into that issue. Okay.
No.
Yeah, it is, and I think it has its merits because it is a race, that there is some of those longer shots that it shows all the horses trying to catch up, and that it is meant to be a long race, so maybe that's part of it is paralleling. But yeah, I thought that it did a good job. I'm glad to hear that it wasn't a pet peeve of yours. It was one at least. And so thinking about the we've talked a lot about JoJo. JoJo is very special, I would say, in the world of manga and anime because a lot of things get bulked together. Like if you think of all the big sub shows, they get like your One Piece and your Bleach and your Naruto, they get shoved together. You have like all your new shows getting shoved together with like your Demon Slayers, your Jujutsu Kaisens and shit. Like everything kind of gets bulked together, but JoJo seems to kind of have its own unique thing going on. Why do you think that's the case?
Because I think it's just a case of like no one else can JoJo like Araki can. Like,
what does that even mean?
I think it's just because it's just no one. JoJo's such a like such a combination of so many like weird disparate parts that trying to like rip it off, you're just like, how do you even rip off JoJo? You're gonna end up with like Diesel, the famous or more infamous Malibu comic thing. They just blatantly a rip off of JoJo, and you only even know it's a rip off of JoJo because they literally yell out "enemy stand" at one point.
Lazy. Okay, interesting. So it's coming from the perspective that it's so unique that it's kind of you can't carbon copy it because it's just done in such a weird way,
and it's also been going for so long.
Yeah,
like that. That is the other thing. This is part 7. It came out in 2004. Started in 2004. Part 1 started in like 86 or something like that.
That's
and it's just been, and it is still part 9 is going right now. It is still going.
That's wild. Okay, so it's massive and it's ongoing.
Yeah.
It also, in case it's not clear, it's also very visually different, as we've been talking about. It visually stands out a lot. It's very weird. It is the bizarre adventure after all. But I just remember when I went to Japan for our honeymoon, I think Starship Crusaders, that anime release was out, and that was everywhere in Japan. I think Starship Crusaders are just always, because I think you were in Japan a little later than that, because Stardust Crusaders was coming out when I was still in university, so I think that's a little later. But okay, maybe it was that Stardust Crusaders was having some sort of crossover with a popular fashion line or something.
Oh, you're probably enjoying the Louis Vuitton time.
Okay.
Yeah, so JoJo's had multiple crossovers with Louis Vuitton.
Wow.
Yeah, and like Araki's had a special exhibit at the Louvre before. So like, yeah.
Okay.
He's a legend for a reason.
So again, if you haven't heard of JoJo, it is hard to understate the cultural impact it has outside of the manga and the anime. Like, something being a JoJo meme is like a thing. And the fact that it deals with Louis Vuitton and in the Louvre, and
it's because they got so much style.
Yeah, it's so hyper stylized. It is very much like its own. It's so interesting how it does seem to operate on its own wavelength.
Yeah. Grappler Baki is the only thing that comes close to like trying to be another JoJo. But even then, it's Grappler Baki is like a pale imitation. JoJo's like just so much better, so much more than that one.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, so all the more reason that it's so interesting to read, not having engaged with it, but knowing about its cultural importance. And for sure, after reading the first volume, I'm curious to read more. I hesitate because of the weirdness that I now see as I learn more about the corpse. There's like a corpse thing later on, and it sounds like that's super weird. But
JoJo's always about the super weird, but that's, you just kind of embrace it. And suddenly, like, they're fighting a dude whose superpower is that he makes you age based on how cold you are. So you have to like find him on the train, but then also his friend who can steal your heart out with a fishing rod. You have to fight him at the same time, and it's like legitimately one of the greatest fights in anime history.
So weird. I mean,
that happens in part 5.
There you go. so going on. But if you're just wanting simple, straightforward, Volume 1 is pretty great. I think anyone can really access it, and it's interesting. And I think it'll give you a good idea about what JoJo looks like if it was to follow a regular plotline, but still have all of the other elements with zany characters, crazy art style, over-the-top action. I think it hits everything except it's JoJo's adventure. It ignores the bizarre in part 1. It lightly touches the bizarre, but it doesn't go hard on it. Which I think is a smart way to get someone on board, is to soft load it.
Yeah. You can the bizarre, you can start to see it's creeping in, but it hasn't got its talons in yet.
Yeah, I think it's very clever because you have the bizarre with Poco Loco a little bit, but again, I think that's thrilling with Poco Loco.
Yeah,
you have this weird creepy thing and I don't know what's going on with it. So yeah, I would be I think I am interested in continuing this based off the first volume. I don't know whether I want to read I think I might want to read it as opposed to the anime. Hard to say, because I liked the pacing of this. It didn't feel like it was repeating things or giving me, it felt like it was really well paced in the manga. I don't know if that would be the same in the anime or not, but
they've done pretty well. The biggest problem is it looks like the anime is going to be a Netflix release again, which was far and away the biggest problem with part 6.
Oh, no.
Is JoJo just doesn't work great on you don't binge watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, you have to have it in your digestible.
Yeah. And even more so, also binge watch 6 month break. Binge watch is the worst way to do it, which is of course how. Yeah, what happened with part 6 was they had 2 massive, almost a year breaks.
Oh, and they just don't. Oh, that's lame.
Yeah, it was super. It was the case of I don't feel like I enjoyed part 6 as much as I should have if they had just released it weekly.
Should have just stuck to the manga, stuck to the OG content.
Yeah,
but the one thing that they do start to hint at with the weirdness is at the end when they give the timeline of Steven Steele.
Oh yeah.
That was okay, this is weird. This is to get future weirdness to come, as his trick is that he can put a goldfish in his mouth and bring it out his nose. And then he dresses as an Asian man, as they call him. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is where the weirdness is starting to be hinted at. Again, I think that our good buddy Hirohiko is just really trying to ease you into what's going to be a insane run. But to start off, I would say, if you're curious about JoJo, if you are like me and you have no background in JoJo, but you're curious about it, this is a pretty cool way to start.
Yeah.
I imagine this one, or just the OG part 1 of JoJo.
Yeah. So I would argue the 2 best places to start JoJo are this one or literally part 1, chapter 1.
Mm-hmm.
People will say you can jump in at any other point, but often you get hit with the weirdness comes too fast to you don't have context for stuff.
You gotta face the weirdness. Yeah. I mean, I think the benefit of this one is if stands do start to come in, you're not getting the false sense of security. If you're starting at part one, where there's just no stands for a while.
No stands for the first two parts don't have any stands in them.
Yeah, so you don't realize that that's going to become an integral part of the entire storyline. Whereas this one, you at least know, and you don't get super invested before it starts happening. But, hey, if you're into stands, it's great. It's good.
Yeah, stand battles are great. I have nothing against stands. It's just nice to have a change of pace.
Yeah. As someone that has read or watched parts 1 through 6, how do you think part 7 scores up against them?
So that's the thing. I really have to get to the end of it because I have often heard this is literally the best part.
Oh,
so I maybe we'll see. For the record, my favorite part is part 2, which is often which is also the pre-stand era. My favorite part is part 2, then part 5, and
bounce around a little bit. Interesting. Yeah. And so, do you think that this is for I think it's one of those things that everyone should at least experience because of JoJo's cultural importance, which again, you cannot understate. It's not just in Japan; it's even in North America as well.
Yeah,
and
but it's
France as well if it's in the Louvre.
Oh yeah, well, because thing to always remember, France is a bigger manga market than the United States.
that I had no idea about that.
Yes, yeah. Like France loves their comics. France is like the biggest, yeah. So they were into JoJo even before, because for the rest of the West, JoJo really didn't pick up until the anime adaptation came out, circa like 2011, 2012. So, yeah.
I had no idea. That's so interesting. Why France?
They love comics.
That's so interesting to me.
Yeah.
No idea. Huh. So cool.
Yeah. It's like why I think like Tintin and Asterix are like actually in like the top 10 best selling comics of all time because of France.
Interesting. Huh. Who knew? Well, you knew, but
yeah.
Interesting. I personally had no idea. But do you have any closing out thoughts on JoJo?
No, I think we've covered most of it.
Yeah, so if you haven't had a chance to read JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7 Steel Ball Run, it's worth checking out. Even if you don't get all the way through it, I think it's just really interesting to see what this infamous comic is about. And this is a really good entry into seeing if it's the kind of thing that would be good for you. It is exciting. The art is extremely interesting. Again, it has a diverse cast, like to the nth degree. Some of the most crazy characters I've seen. Outrageous moments when you have someone in a wheelchair launching themselves to try and grab a steel ball out of a cowboy's pocket and getting stuck to it.
Using the power of the spiral to get up on your horse despite the fact you're a paraplegic.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But what a great way to celebrate Lunar New Year.
Yeah. Horses, we love them.
Yeah, if you're looking for some unique way to celebrate the Lunar New Year and the Year of the Horse, check out Steel Ball Run. But our second way to celebrate the Year of the Horse, Musume Cinderella Gray. So those who are not familiar with Musume,
it's Uma for the record.
Musume.
Uma
Musume Cinderella Gray. The second part of our episode. This is a anime, but it is based off of a manga.
No, it is based off of a mobile game.
Yeah, that's right. So,
actually, the funny part, so it's based off of a mobile game, but the anime came first. So the anime was created to sell the mobile game, and the way it worked out, the anime came out like 2 years before the mobile game did.
Wait, the anime just came out.
No, so the Musume anime. So,
okay.
So like Cinderella Gray is like the latest spin-off series. The original Musume anime came out like 2 years before the Musume video game, which is like the central piece for all of this.
Yeah, for anyone who's curious, this is Musume Pretty Derby came out first, which is generally agreed to be not. I think it's agreed to be like okay.
Yeah. The Musume explosion sure didn't happen for the original anime.
No.
The original anime came out with like people like it was like a haha, check it out. Here's this anime where the horses are like real girls and they do idol concerts.
Yeah. So in the first one, it was sort of like a joke, not taken seriously. It was clear that it was being done for a purpose. But Cinderella Gray has swept the nation.
Yes. Well, but yes, the English release of Musume mobile game was a huge, massive, over-the-top, massive success.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all the spin-offs and stuff that have just been knocking them out of the park.
Which is pretty wild. I mean, it's pretty wild to build I guess mobile games are massive. It's a massive industry, so it makes sense that they would be trying to build on it, but it's still pretty funny. Just whenever you see really like commercial success for something that's built off of essentially trying to market a mobile game, or the same with like Arcane with League of Legends. These are things that go way harder than they have to in promoting what they're trying to do, but that the world is just generally better for it.
Yeah, I think the grandfather of them all, the Lego Movie.
Yes, yeah. I love the Lego Movie so much.
It's Lego Movie so good. It does not need to be as good as it is, but it's so good.
So great. So Uma Musume Cinderella Gray, in case you haven't caught on yet, it is literally girls, anime girls who are also horses and they race, and it's based off of real.
Yes, yeah. I think we need to be specific. So it's about what's her name again?
The name of the main
Ogre Cap. Yeah,
Ogre Cap. Yeah.
Ogre Cap is a real racehorse that really existed in Japan. We are literally following her exact, like every race she does in the anime is a real race that happened, and it is exactly the same. They do it exactly the same. It's like a weird adaptation of a real thing that happened, but also horse girls.
Yeah, exactly. Also,
and like all the weird little things of like that Ogre Cap had muscle problems when she was a kid, so she had to be like and like ate way too much food. All of that is apparently real stuff from the real horse.
Do you know about the too much food? That's pretty funny. Yeah, so it's super weird, and so all the horse girls have insane names because of that. You have like Simply Rudolph and what's her main Bible name?
Tamino Cross.
Yeah, Tamino Cross. Like, there's so many. The names are just hilarious because they're horse names. But I mean, something that they don't play into is that they're not sexualizing the characters. Thank goodness, because that would just be an extra level of weird.
No, fun fact about that one, because this is like a promise that apparently this might all be hearsay, but from what I understand, because all the horses are real things and a lot of them are owned by the Yakuza, there was like a promise that they made that they would keep everything like PG so as not to like damage the brand of the horses.
Wow.
And it's also apparently why it's very hard to find like Rule 34 of the horse girls from Japan, because everyone's like even the adult fan artists follow that same rules.
That's insane to me that this is all wrapped up with the Yakuza.
Yeah,
these horse girls are wrapped up with
some of them.
Oh, okay, just some of these horse girls are.
Yeah.
That's so wild and potentially true. Because there's no sort of fan service or anything.
No.
Which is great. It just means that you have more powerful female characters and that there's no sort of it crushes the Bechdel test.
Bechdel.
It crushes the Bechdel test. There's no sort of romance going on here. That's not what we're here for, racing. So I think it's a great way to celebrate Lunar New Year. If you're like, what kind of horse content can I consider? This is some straight up great horse content. It is just racing horse girls, and it is fun to watch. It's super easy to watch. It's also enjoyable to watch. I found one I first acknowledged was a mental barrier, because if you're not going to be able to get past the fact that you were watching anime girls who are actually horses run, this is going to be a hard thing to watch. But if you're able to just sort of just embrace it, just pretend they're not horses for a second and just treat them as racers.
Yeah, no, this is definitely one of those like perspective moments of like, right, this isn't normal. I'm just so used to all of this stuff.
100%. Yeah. No, if you're trying to describe this to someone that is not accustomed to anime culture, they're going to think you're put off. Unfortunately, it's one of those very anime animes.
Oh, yeah.
If you're into anime and you're okay with it, it's something that what I appreciated is that I knew every time I started an episode that there was going to be something exciting happen.
Yes, it is a snack because they got to fit the entire history, Ogre Cap's entire career into it. They hit it snappy. They got all the
around.
Yeah, you get like. I actually wonder, is it like how many races is it over? Like, I feel like you average like one race every like.
Probably every 2 episodes.
Yeah, or like episode and a half, maybe?
Yeah, maybe episode and a half, if anything. Yeah. I think they only don't complete a race a couple of times. Yeah. Usually they start and stop the race within an episode in addition to other elements going on.
Yeah.
Which makes it, again, if you're wanting something that always has action and doesn't have filler episodes, this is right up there. which is probably why people are so into it, is because it's like we were talking about with Steel Ball Run. There's just a lot going on.
Yeah. Apparently the game's also great. Like, I'm never going to play it because gacha games and like, but apparently it's great.
Yeah. I mean, it's very interesting, just horse racing culture. And that's just not something that
That's another good point. I could not care.
It's not as big.
I could not care less about horse racing.
It's a massive thing in Asia.
Yeah, and it's pretty big in the States too, like Kentucky Derby, all that.
That's true.
But like,
I guess I just think about that. I feel like there's so many different, especially South Korean shows. I can think of where someone has a gambling addiction to racing horses.
Yes. Well, that's the other interesting thing, specifically about horse racing in Japan. Part of why it's so popular is it's like one of the few ways you can legally gamble.
Wow. That would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a thrilling way, especially if Yakuza are. Well, that's crazy to me.
But yeah, but also like for how little, like I feel like Vancouver recently our only horse race track recently closed down.
Yeah, Hastings Racetrack.
Yeah.
I never went there, but
sure walked past it a bunch of times when we were at the PNE.
That's true.
But yeah, never actually entered.
I don't know. Do you want to go to it? Is that something that has ever interested you?
No, not in the slightest.
No, it is not.
If we get some anime girls running around, maybe you could convince me. But if they're actual real horses,
yeah, no days. You need the thrill of weave to be thrown in there to make it engaging content.
Yeah, I guess the other thing I like about horse racing is I do love the fact that Secretariat is like universally considered one of the top 10 athletes in history. And I find that funny.
Yeah, hey, Secretary to be a top athlete, dogs can win acting awards.
Yeah,
we're in a whole new era. Who knows? Maybe we will have horse girls. And hey, we do have. There is one of those. There is that kind of competition. What is that called? Where people can go around hobby horsing.
Oh,
bridging the gap, kind of. Slightly technically, but yeah. Would you? I mean, that's. How would you recommend Uma Musume to people, or how do you navigate this one?
I would recommend it. I think it's one of those. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's like, can you accept the fact that you're watching this?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, watch it. If not, like, don't even. It's not going to convince. If you already think it's like too weird, this isn't going to convince you otherwise.
Yeah, if you think that there's a like creepy or icky element to anime in general, this is not. This is just going to solidify your beliefs. But if you are an open-minded individual who is curious about what kind of weirdness that can also exist with high production quality.
Yes, which I guess that's the other thing to bring. Cygames is knocking it. Cygames uses their gacha money for so much good in the world, by which I mean they make so many amazing animes.
Yeah. So
because
you're not cheaping out on this one.
No, and even like the thing is, even they're like not even the ones that aren't gacha game. Even the ones that are not gacha game ads are still amazing. Like possibly the best anime last year was Apocalypse Hotel, which was a Cygames original anime.
Wow.
And the other one they hit it out of the park, which is probably the actual king of like, this is so far gone for weebs, but we just consider it as normal, which is Akiba Maid Wars. Do you know Akiba Maid Wars?
I do. I recognize. I at least recognize the name. I knew that the anime was coming out, but that is very funny that their go-to is things that are only going to work if you're already within the anime zeitgeist. So you're already okay with what anime's doing.
Yes. I guess we should. Akiba Maid Wars is let's take a 1990s Yakuza movie, but make it so everyone's like it's what rather all the Yakuza clans were actually maid cafes. So good. It's so good.
Yeah.
If
that's something that you're into, worth checking out. But yeah. It's a lot of I think that's the main thing that we're exploring and that we're talking about with Year of the Horse is that there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in manga and anime that also just like has cultural impact and relevancy with the real world. It's no longer just trapped in your TV. It is on your race courses. It is with your fashion brands, anime, and
which because I'm going to be very vague because I can't remember, but there's like one horse got super popular on the Uma Musume game, that like so much so that like they like took her like out like they like she's been retired for like 10 years, but they like took her out and like people could buy her oats. There was like a thing where you could like buy the retired and like it like crashed it because so many people wanted to buy her oats. Because like some horse who like
but is this a real
this is a real thing that happened. It was a horse that like lost all a horse that like did like 25 races and lost every single one of them, but like always kept trying. Oh. So when they added her to when they added her to Uma Musume, they made her like the like pink haired bubbly, I'm gonna do my best kind of character. And everyone loved her so much.
It's like, I gotta support my horse. That's it's ridiculous. Love that. But yeah, I think these are two things that if you are an open-minded individual, these are great recommendations. If you're wanting to try out something new, check out episode 1 of Uma Musume Cinderella Gray. You'll immediately get a vibe for if you're going to be able to tolerate it putting out there. As well as check out Steel Ball Run as well. But as we're making our way towards the end of the episode, we get to, of course, introduce what's next on the reading docket. So we are
right, Shane. We're switching stuff up. Shane, what are we reading next this time?
Yeah, so I get to introduce the book with everything going on with Spence and Fan Expo, and say, hey, why don't I get to throw something into the ring every once in a while? And so the story the graphic novel that I thought we could try out is called Coming Back by Jessi Zabarsky. It's very different than anything else we've done. This is not a mainstream release. It is by Random House Graphic, is the publisher.
Okay. I actually do know them.
Oh, there you go. But yeah. Coming Back by Jessi Zabarsky. Okay. A very different change of pace, very different art style, not the same huge bombastic releases that we're used to, but a cute little story that I came across as I've been exploring graphic novels more that I thought had some really interesting world building going on. I thought that could lead to some interesting conversation. So a different change of pace and a Shane recommendation.
Well,
which is much better than my other recommendations from last episode on Emma, where I'm an absolute train wreck of a recommendation. So hopefully I don't go as sideways on that one and tell people to watch A Christmas Carol in February.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Worked out great.
There you go. And is this the kind of thing that, would you be able to, if someone wanted this, would you be able to order it for them from the store?
Possibly. Depends on if it's possibly the thing I should... You'd have to look to see if it's still in print, basically.
Okay. So
yeah. And I'm not into, like, it would take me a moment to find it. But maybe, possibly. I'll look into it.
Okay. Well, either way, if you are interested in checking out Steel Ball Run, you can definitely pick that up from Vesperia or VesperiaComics.com online. And Coming Back by Jessi Zabarsky, maybe you'll be able to get from Vesperia Comics. It is less of a mainstream thing, so not as clear, but hey, you should at least go to the store and check it out. And if Spence isn't able to get it, you can pick up something else cool while you're there, because Spence actually does have a whole section dedicated to local publishers.
Yes, absolutely.
And so you can find something else cool.
Lots of local stuff.
Yeah, check out a different local release, because maybe we'll look to integrate more of those as we continue in our book club journey and explore new and different things. But that's it for episode 30 of the Long Comics Book Club. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to follow the show on your preferred podcast platform, as well as Long Comics Book Club on Blue Sky and Instagram, and get in the Discord. Share your own thoughts on Steel Ball Run or Uma Musume or next week's podcast, Coming Back by Jessi Zabarsky. And that episode, number 31, will be dropping on February 28th, just right around the corner. 3 weeks in a row of the brothers coming on the airwaves. It's a busy kind of spring because we're having so much fun, and apparently we just can't get enough. But happy Lunar New Year, Year of the Horse. We're all excited to be, what did I say it was again? Energetic and hardworking, something to that effect.
Yeah, I don't know.
But, hey, what a fun thing. I'm excited to find out what animal it is next year. And
after the horse is...
If we're
the time I've taken to try to remember, I could have just looked it up, I guess.
It is goat, right? No, it's goat.
Oh, yeah, right, because you'll be a multiple of 12. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well then next year you can look forward to around this time of year as we try and figure out what kind of goat content.
We can do sheep stuff. Sheep works too.
Okay, there you go. Well, we have a whole year to figure it out.
Monkey will be easy. Rooster, harder.
Some of these will be hard.
Dog, easy. Pig.
Snake. This is pretty fun. I like this. We'll make it an annual tradition.
Rat, easy as well. Ox, if you include cow, I think we can make that work.
We finally get our excuse to do mouse, is when we have Year of the Rat.
Tiger, easy.
Ooh, wow.
Rabbit.
We have things so fast.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We'll just, for rabbit, we'll just like read Peter Cottontail or...
And then dragon and snake, and then we're back to where we began.
And then we'll have to fight, and then by then... 12 years later, we're still in 12 years later. We'll see what new Musume contents drop. But thanks so much for coming along with us for the ride. And we hope you have a wonderful Year of the Horse. And we will talk to you next week on February 28th. We will talk to you then. Bye-bye.